All right, everybody. Got some things, had to jump on the camera to give you a little bit of an update on what's going on at the gym. So, first and foremost, we're closed this coming Friday, July 4th, Independence Day. It's a holiday we've closed since the beginning, and it is a day that we take off. But, like most other holidays that we do, one of our coaches is going to put together a workout, Coach Sean. This workout is going to be done at the South Reno location, and it's going to be at 8:30 a.m. One workout, hour long. It's reasonable. All right, you can read it down here. It's in the newsletter. It is a reasonable workout, fun. Get through it, get on with your day if you want to. Sign up in the Mind Body app. It is something that you should do if you plan on going. All right. So, yeah, workout on Friday, July 4th, 8:30 a.m. One workout, South Reno. Be there if you want to get your sweat in. If not, have a safe, healthy 4th of July weekend. All right. So, we'll be back, normal schedule, Monday or Saturday, that is. Normal classes on Saturday, and then Monday back in action per usual. All right. Next thing I want to talk about real quick. I planned on getting in a little deeper detail, getting my brother on this deal to have this discussion, but we just couldn't make it work. Schedule-wise, kids, life, shit gets in the way, all right? But programming, let's talk about it a little bit, okay? Chase just finished a block. We're wrapping up retesting, seeing a lot of PRs out there. Seeing a lot of people really, really enjoying some of these repeat workouts. And you know what? I'm proud of you. Everybody's done a great job. Seen a lot of progress made, and we got some new flavor and excitement over the last 3 months from Coach Chase. So let's give him a little round of applause there. I do appreciate his insights. I'm going to keep checking in with him and getting his feedback on everything going forward. But, as we know, he's switching careers at the end of the year, and we're taking things over in a different direction-ish, if you will. So as many of you know, my brother's been the primary chief of programming since we opened this place, and he loves doing it. In my humble opinion, I think he's really good at it. But obviously I'm biased, But at the end of the day, we're here to satisfy you, get you fitter, get you stronger, and feeling good. That is the goal. And here's what we're looking at. We sat down and kind of went through our years of programming. We've included many coaches over the years in helping out with programming. And the biggest thing with that is adding variety to the workouts. When you have any one coach, it's easy to really get stuck in a flavor pattern, if you will. Programming is as much science as it is art. And facilitating programming that satisfies, I'm going to say this clearly, that satisfies potentially 90% of our members all the time, and that's a maybe, right? Just be honest. A group class program isn't going to satisfy 100% of everybody all the time. It's impossible. It's impossible. It just is what it is. I do my best, and so does our other coaches, as a coach, to bring you the right workout for you in that group class experience, okay? So we do strive, and if you communicate with your coach, we're always here to modify, adjust, make changes. I have quite a few members that sometimes get a completely different workout that day, because I know their goals. I know maybe some sort of tweak or injury or something going on personally with them, and I make adjustments appropriate for them to still get a great, safe, effective workout. That's our job as coaches. We all do that, but that comes down to you communicating with your coach what's going on. If there's no communication, we're just going around business as usual, running the class. So, those things in mind. Another thing, there is workout design, right? Workout design and intended stimulus of the workout. That goes for all programming. Something I want to reiterate to you guys is workout intended stimulus needs to be focused on your intended stimulus, all right, for you to achieve your goals. This comes back to coach-client relationship, right? So the better you're communicating with your coach about your goals, the better you're working with the same coach consistently, going to their class consistently, they can help progress you and making sure you're hitting your intended stimulus for your goals. For example, getting a little dry mouth here. If your goal is to get stronger, your coach might have you level up some of the weights in the Metcons. Your coach is going to be pretty damn adamant that you need to be tracking your lifts and working on percentages. If you're not tracking your lifts and you're not building on percentage work, your guesswork, and it's all guesswork with your strength progression, right? So if your goal is to get stronger and build muscle and you're not tracking, you're just simply doing it based on feels, you're not going to get stronger, all right? It's just not going to happen. Doing it based on feels doesn't work. This goes for gymnastics work. This goes for our strength compound movements, our main lifts. Must track, must work off percentages. All right, this is principles. You must progressively overload these lifts to get stronger. Percentage work has worked since the beginning of time. All right, it's classic strength training that I truly believe in, and it's effective. But it's only effective if you track it and use those percentages, 1, and you're consistent with your workouts, 2. All right. And then on top of that, obviously you need protein and you need carbohydrates. These things matter in building strength. All right, let's say your goal is to build work capacity, get your endurance up. We might change things up for you a little bit. We might have you go a little bit lighter so you can get your heart rate up higher and push a little deeper into those heart rate zones that are going to improve your VO2 max. Coach, I don't know what that is. Introduce the heart rate monitors. Again, we can take guesswork out of this. If you're not getting enough time in zone 4, zone 5 each week, minimum 6 minutes. 6 minutes of accumulated time in those heart rate zones, you're simply not going to improve your VO2 max. All right? We can take the guesswork out of it. We can track it. We can make sure you're hitting it, right? Sometimes we feel like we're getting max effort, especially if it's a muscular endurance kind of workout, but our heart rate's barely getting out of zone 2. All right? So these are things that you guys need to be cognizant of and aware of as part of your own fitness journey, right? So to make any program work, these are just a few fundamental principles out there. So another thing, we look at our attendance, right? Gym attendance. With gym attendance for 11 years now, we average just over 3 days per week across the board. We got a bunch of 5-dayers, got some 2-dayers, but it's like 3.3, 3.4 days per week is the overall average attendance. So with that, that's pretty good. That is the bare minimum, right? That's to hit the committed club. All right, that is the bare minimum to move the needle forward on your fitness and your health. All right, that's why it's set at 3 days per week, 12 per month. But it's impossible to write a 3-day per week program. It really is. And a 3-day per week program that rotates through to where, if you're a Monday, Wednesday, Friday person, you're not getting the same stuff, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. All right, so one thing we do is we rotate our lifts through the week. So if your bench press is one day, bench press is going to be on a different time the next week, and so forth. All right, those are going to move around. But one of the classic things that we do and did back in the day is strength Metcon most days, right? I am a big believer in strength work, and I'm a big believer in Metcons that are in that 8 to 15 minute, I call it the money making range. I like that time domain. It's a great workout. We can get a great stimulus, and it's just a very effective time domain for training. Don't get me wrong. I love the 3-minute workouts too. But to get the intended stimulus out of a 3-minute workout, you have to sell your soul on intensity, which is the intended purpose of that. They're important, right? They're important. But if I'm only able to get in 3 workouts that week, one of my workouts is not going to be a 3-minute workout. I'm very aware of that. So if you come into the gym and you're only able to get 2 or 3 days in that week, and you show up to a 3, 4, 5-minute workout, you might be like, damn, wish I was getting a little bit more today. Totally get that. Totally understand it. That's how I would feel too. Right? So going back to some of our principles in the beginning, where we have strength, Metcon, most of the days of the week. And on days that it's a longer Metcon, there won't be strength, and so forth. Those of you that have been around for a while know the vibe I'm throwing down right now. Another thing, classic CrossFit. I'm a fan. I'm a pretty big fan of classic Metcons, classic, the Olympic lifts, the power lifts, just the classic blend of CrossFit style training. And, that's what this emulates. Maybe I didn't front run this enough, but my brother and I are both doing the programming. So this will be the first time in Double Edge history that I have actually put effort into the programming sides of things at the gym. It just wasn't a domain program as far as something I was involved in a whole lot. I coach it, I'll look at it, but I wasn't like actively doing it. I trusted my coach who's helping my brother, or I trust my brother getting it done. I've never been like really active in it. I got a lot of other things going on, making videos, trying to be a social media influencer stuff, things that, really matter in life. I don't know. But I am busy. I do more personal training again. I'm doing stuff. But here's the thing. I've also been around this a long time. I also now, Tammy and I, are 2 of the coaches that coach both gyms every single week. I'm seeing a lot of members. I'm seeing a lot of people in our community. And I think that puts me in a really good position, insight-wise, to see what's really going on across a lot of the community here, and interject what I'm seeing into the programming, and then give my brother, us working together for, achieving variety in training. Also, just to toot my own horn, you can call your other coaches out on this too. I do our programming. I love it. I've been doing it forever. The last year and a half has been the most consistent I have been doing it. And with that, I also think that gives me a strong insight into the programming. So I decided going forward, I'm going to put effort in on my behalf, helping out with the programming. So how it works is my brother goes in, builds the framework. What he's thinking, gets all his special brain in there. And I go through it and look at my thoughts. But most importantly, and this is an idea that came from Chase. Chase was testing a lot of the workouts he was putting together for everybody. And I thought that was kind of cool. For 11 years, I just show up and do group class with group class the same day group class does it. That's how I've always done. Changing that a little bit. I am currently 2 weeks ahead of you guys on the workouts. I am doing the entire program, Monday through Friday, welded programming. I'm 2 weeks ahead of you guys right now. Hope that doesn't make you peanut butter and jelly. Know what I'm saying? But what that is also doing, both, as somebody who participates in the programming, but also coaches it, it gives me a little better insights into how the week's going to go, how the coaching the class is going to go. And I really like that Chase did that. And I think it's helpful. I think it's smart. But it does take a coach willing to, be very proactive and ahead of the game. And unfortunately, my timeline of training doesn't really allow me to get into actual class because of personal training and stuff I got going on. So I typically do most of the group class workouts by myself every day when I have a gap. So it works. And a handful of people at Midtown have noticed that I'm doing different stuff. And they're like, what are you doing? Well, this is Thursday's workout in 2 weeks. Good luck. But in all reality, I'm 2 weeks ahead of you guys. Still doing all the workouts. But this time will be one of the first time when the workout pops up on Monday morning. Well, you'll see what I did right out the gate. And no, I did not do it at 4 a.m. that day. So if you see my score in there, I did the workout. I approved of it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was effective, thought it was fun, whatever. If you don't see my score in there, one of two things happened. I got behind and wasn't able to get the workout done. Or we changed it because I did what was programmed and it was no bueno. Right? It was no good. And some changes had to be made. I will say that probably won't happen that often, just because my brother and I, we've been doing this for a hot minute. To make that big of a mistake is probably not going to happen too often. But if it does, I will catch it and make the change. You probably won't see my score in there on it because I'm probably not going to repeat that the same day. I don't know, probably not. So either I got lazy and I got behind on my training, which hopefully that doesn't happen too often. Because I'm 2 weeks ahead, I should always be able to stay ahead of vacations and trips and stuff like that the best as possible. And yeah, so there's that. Also, if I'm making changes too, so I do the workout. Today's a great example. So I did next Tuesday's workout, Wednesday's workout, Wednesdays, and served me up some humble pie. Served it up. All right. I'm not changing that workout. It was a good workout, but damn. But what I am doing is making some adjustments to tomorrow's workout because of the way today's workout hit. All right. So that's where you'll see you guys won't see it, but that's where a little more fine tuning will take place, is going to be, and how that workout smacks me upside the head or not, how I feel the next day waking up. Like, we all know we've done those workouts and it's like, oh damn, leg's no good today. And then we have some sort of leg deal the next day. We might want to pull that back a little bit. All right, so that's where I'm catching stuff a little more proactively than we did in the past, and fine tuning there. All right. I know you guys are going to be super excited about this, but of course we got to open up with another huge block of testing. Got to know where you're at. We know where you're at from last block. Got to open up with another huge block of testing. I'm joking. Totally joking. When it comes to testing going forward, we're going to be doing the 1 rep maxes. We're going to be building up strength, testing lifts, mixing those up and around. But me personally, I don't think I'm going to do another massive block of testing. I'm talking with my brother about that. One of the things that I noticed coaching both gyms and all the members, and including myself doing it, it was rough. They're great workouts, but I just didn't have the recovery capacity to like really feel like, I was talking to Chase about this. It was a legitimate test of fitness for damn sure. But it was, for most of us, improving GPP and just our overall health. It smacked, and it was a learning lesson. So tests will be sprinkled throughout programming going forward. It's not going to be just a massive block, train, massive block. Tests are going to be sprinkled throughout. Strength is going to build consistently, and various tests. And I also personally want to bring back and stay consistent with quite a few of the brand name CrossFit tests, that are out there. I vibe with those tests. I think it's a cool thing as part of the global CrossFit community, and their intended stimulus are just great tests of fitness. And so I want to be mixing in more of our classic CrossFit workouts as tests to keep tabs and checks and balances on your fitness progression, whether you are in maintenance or growth mode, right? So yeah, going forward, we won't be doing massive testing weeks again that I can see in the foreseeable future. Just from what I witnessed, both coaching and doing them myself over the last few months. Next, let's talk about lean. So those of you that come to my class, I know that I have been a little bit critical of lean workouts. It's because I'm very biased to our welded programming. Our welded programming is written as a Monday through Friday program that builds on itself both strength and work capacity. Two of the things that I find most important for your long-term health and fitness. And I'm just very biased to the programming. It has a great blend of a lot of things. I love the barbell, gymnastics, all the stuff. So yes, I'm not trying to hide the fact that I'm very biased to that. I very seldomly do a lean workout. Doesn't mean I think lean is bad. It's a great workout. It's a great work capacity workout. But I think you guys should know I am chief programmer of lean workouts now. Might be a good thing, might be a bad thing. But when I think about that, I had to identify, what is the goal of lean? What is the purpose of this? What do I want our members to get out of lean who do lean consistently? And I should also say lean is going to be only at Midtown starting July 14th. Because South Gym, they're going high rocks. More into that in a second. But I'm writing these lean workouts for Midtown. What do I want out of it? What do I think about it? When we originally added lean to the schedule 10 years ago, the purpose of that was to introduce people to CrossFit in a less intimidating way. All right. So it doesn't have the complex barbell movements. It doesn't have the complex gymnastics in it. It is work capacity with simpler stimulus, if you will. And it's to get people's baseline fitness up, introduce people to CrossFit movements, and still get a great workout without the potential for the intimidating factor that some of the barbell-oriented, high-skill gymnastics kind of workouts can be for folks. And that was the goal. We're getting a lot of new people. The majority of our new members, even to this day, are people that have never done CrossFit before. And we want to always make sure we have an avenue that, they can get a great workout in. But I want to have more intention behind it. So I had to define it. What is lean? So got an acronym. So lean is lighter weights the vast majority of the time, that helps build endurance, is accessible to all, and is nurturing our long-term health. You see the acronym there? Lean, right? So as I'm writing these lean workouts and building them, that is what's at front of my mind. Lighter weights, okay? So doable for many people. And if you're really strong and you're doing lean, you're just gonna be able to do more stuff, right? So it's endurance oriented, both cardiovascular and muscular endurance. Those are the two energy systems, if you will, that we're focusing on here. I'm not focusing in lean workouts on building absolute strength. All right. So muscular endurance, cardiovascular endurance. Those are the two things in the lean workout, energy system wise, that I'm thinking about in these workouts. Accessible to all. Somebody who has not done CrossFit before, somebody who might be a little intimidated, or doesn't really vibe with the group class that day for whatever reason, they're still going to get a great workout in, right? Great full body workout in. It's accessible to all. And most importantly, it's still facilitating our long-term health, right? Some of our lean workouts, any exercise is good exercise, but not great exercise. And I'm really trying to find a balance here to make sure lean is nurturing our long-term health. All right? So that's the acronym. So now I have a vision. I have a vision for lean. I was this close to changing the name of lean to something else. But at the end of the day, it's a staple in our gym. Been around forever. People love it. It's going to function the same way at Midtown. On Tuesday, Thursdays, we're going to have our lean workouts. And that is the premise that I'm making leans with. I'm not testing lean workouts. I'm just going to tell you that. I don't have the fitness to test both the welded workouts every week and the lean workouts every week. I'm just not fit enough to do it. Sorry guys, letting you down, but I'm not testing the lean workouts. Some days the lean workout might end up being the welded workout. That might happen, all right? But it won't happen that often, okay? It only happen if we're looking at the programming and we're looking for some really building muscular endurance as being a part of what we're focusing on at the moment. Some of the lean workouts might be the workout of the day for everybody, which is okay. And those workouts I will test. But I'm focusing on the Monday through Friday program as far as testing it. That is what the bulk of our members do. And I want to make sure lean is intentional and purposeful with kind of a vision going forward. July 14th, second week of July. Don't ask me why we picked that date. I'm really not sure. Just is what it is. I think that's probably the first day my brother put in the High Rocks workout. Sal Gym Lean is switching to High Rocks training. Sal Gym is officially a High Rocks affiliate. High Rocks is cool. High Rocks is hot. People are into it. I'm going to do one, maybe a couple of them. And, it's a great event. It's a well-run event. It's coming into the States. It originated in Europe. It's a big deal in Europe. Really big deal in Europe. If you guys haven't met Coach Faye, she kind of gave me the 411 on how big it is in Europe, and it's a big deal over there. And it's making its way to the States. So I see it as just becoming, a much larger event that more and more people are going to want to participate in. And it's a great test of fitness. All right. I don't think it is the best test of fitness, but it is a great test of fitness. And it looks fun. It looks fun. So High Rocks Sal Gym is official High Rocks training facility. Us coaches, I've already done it, gone through the certification course for High Rocks. Our other coaches are going through it to where we can be quote unquote coaches for it. Fortunately enough, if you've coached CrossFit for a long time, you can coach and train people for High Rocks. There's a lot of crossover, a tremendous amount of crossover. almost so much crossover that it should be called potentially just a CrossFit endurance workout or a lean workout on all accounts. But there's some specificity, I can't say that word, to it that we're going to incorporate into workouts at the South Gym. You know, more farmer carries, more sled pushes, hell of a lot more running. So you running diehards, this is for you. All right. So it's going to be lean at South is going to turn into high rocks classes, which will be, you know, they are lean-esque workouts anyway, right? They really are. But they're just a little more specifics to it for the high rocks event that we are going to do. Also with that, we plan on involving a Monday through Friday high rocks training schedule based on adoption and how much interest we get into this with some of the classes down there, not all of them, just some of them. Adding some classes to the schedule potentially as this grows and we get see what the interest is, right? We're not going to get too weird with it too quick. Phase 1, lean is going to be a high rocks workout at the South Gym. So if you want to do high rocks class and a little more specifics oriented to high rocks, South Gym is where you're going to go do that. I want to reiterate this. Do not come up to me at Midtown and say, hey, I want to do the high rocks workout today. Don't do it. Not during class. If you have open gym membership, you can go do that on your own. Totally fine. But don't come to me during class and be like, hey, I want to do the high rocks workout today, Midtown. Don't do it. Second, don't come to me at South and be like, hey, I want to do the lean workout today. That looks good. Well, you should have went to Midtown to do the lean workout. We're 3 miles apart, right? It's not that big of a difference. So if you're really bought into doing that specific workout that day, just go to the gym that workout is being offered at. Welded programming, consistent across the board, both gyms, business as usual there. But the lean will be specific to Midtown. High rocks will be specific to South. Just want to make sure, you know, we're on the same page there with that. It's important as far as how daily operations go at the gym. It's important how we're allocating equipment to each gym. We will be adding some things to the South Gym specifically for high rocks training. Okay. Glad we're on the same page there. I love you guys. That's just a little something I had to go over. Feedback on programming. I love it when members come talk to me about programming. You know, giving me their insights and their thoughts. People have asked for more skill work. People have asked for Olympic weightlifting only days. People have asked for no Olympic weightlifting days. Bodybuilding stuff, more of it, less of it. It's all good. I understand that folks like their specific things. We're not going to be able to hit everything all the time. And I'm really paying attention to what's happening in class. What people are doing, where is the bulk of inefficiencies, what kind of imbalances am I seeing in people as far as like muscular imbalances. You know, something that's very important to me is unilateral work, single arm work, single leg work. I think it's very good for our health and our bodies. So that is, what do you want to say, imbalance I've seen over the years that we just didn't do enough of, that I'm trying to make sure we're incorporating enough of that in. The average age of our gym is 43 years old. Average age of Double Edge Fitness, that is. So we ain't dead yet, but things are changing, okay? So I'm really trying to make sure that we have a balance in what we're doing to our bodies. You know, one of the big downsides, if you want to say, in CrossFit culture over the years was you get addicted to that intensity punch, the dopamine kick that comes from that. And then you start getting in this mindset, not everybody, but a handful of folks, more is better. And that's simply not the case. And when you start combining too much intensity too often, all the time, it leads to, well, dysfunction in your body. I mean, it can lead to endocrine issues. It can lead to injuries, overuse injuries. It's not the way. And I wish I would have applied a little bit less intensity in my life back in the day and focused on being a little more intentional with how I apply intensity to my training. Because the most important thing with training is consistency. Consistency is numero uno. So if your intensity is so high that you can't train consistently, it's not a good thing. So making sure our workouts are stacking up day by day. Another reason I'm front running everything on you guys and I'm ahead of you guys is just to make sure that there's reasonable doses of intensity and volume stacking on top of itself, that we can recover from week to week and continue consistently training. I'm not going to say there's not going to be workouts that just mess us up. I think those are important, but they're not important often. They're important in small doses throughout the months and year. All right, they're not important on a weekly basis. We want good stimulus that builds day by day by day, that, once the weekend gets here, we're able to recover and be back at it again. Now, if you are working out 2 to 3 days per week, you can increase the intensity. All right, you can, because you got 3 to 4 days of rest. Allegedly, apparently, I mean, I don't know, you could be doing a bunch of other crazy stuff on those days, running ultramarathons or whatever. That all factors into your personal training program, what you're doing on those other days. But if you're generally working out just at our gym and you're getting 2 to 3 days per weekend, and that's it, you can still move the needle, but intensity in that situation needs to be high, right? In those situations, hitting these workouts hard and heavy and pushing, your limits safely is going to be the best use of your time in the gym. So if I'm only personally getting 3 days of training in on a given week for whatever reason, I'm going to push those workouts hard. I'm going to hurt. If I'm training 5-6 days that week, I'm going to back off a little bit, right? I'm going to back off a little bit of intensity, more volume and consistency there, so that I can continually recover. Doesn't mean I'm laying off the gas, but I'm not going that max effort like I would if I was only getting 2 or 3 workouts in that week. I would really push the max effort on those few workouts because I'm going to get 3-4 days a week of recovery in there. So those are things just to think about. Okay, those are things to think about. Let's recap. Welded programming is a Monday through Friday programming. Saturday's just Saturday. It's like a makeup day, full body workout, longer workout. There'll be a mixture of partner workouts and solo workouts and this and that, funsies, runs with friends. Saturday workout in 2 weeks. It's a doozy. It's spicy. I did it. And I'm trying to do all the Saturday workouts too. Focusing on Monday through Friday, but I'm also testing Saturday workouts as much as possible also. So yeah, that's kind of it. I think that's it. I think it's it. So guys, if you got feedback, I brought that up a little bit ago. I'm open to having a conversation about it. Again, I get a lot of input by coaching and being at both gyms and just seeing what's going on. You guys do hire us to bring the best product forward. But if you have thoughts and this and that, I'm down to have a conversation about it. I'm down. I actually enjoy it. It's an opportunity for me to potentially educate on why we do what we do and how to approach it differently or think about it in a different framework, potentially. So I know we won't be satisfying everybody 100% of the time, but we keep doing our best to hit 90% of everybody most of the time. How about that for a word salad? And yeah, love you guys. Looking forward to doing this and being a part of programming for the first time since I've owned the gym. I mean, I've never really participated heavily into this. I've done some stuff over the years, helped out here and there, but this is the first time like I'm genuinely investing week by week into planning this out and helping my brother and doing it as a team. So yeah, that's it. That's all I got for us. That's all I got for us. So like I said, as these go along and as we are pivoting and evolving in the programming, my brother and I, hopefully together, jump on the old camera system here and keep you guys up to date on what's going on with the workouts and what we're thinking and how we're visualizing what we're doing and how it's going to benefit you all. Okay, that's it. That's all I got. Again, have a safe 4th of July weekend. Love you guys, and well, see you soon. Peace.